We think it's simple questions, but if I dissect it, if you all dissect it, we'll get to learn which part of the business elements should we address first. Usually, the knee-jerk reaction of people, of business owners, when they are faced with crisis, is that they will just do product innovation. Product innovation is not always wrong, but it's not always correct. Sometimes, if you do product innovation only, it may be a wrong solution because you may have the right product, but you're not doing it the right way. So ask yourself, what really is or are your products or services? From here on in, we'll use interchangeably product or services. I'll just use product for brevity. What really is your product? What does it do? Is it solving a problem? Is it offering a solution? Is it going to enhance somebody's production or somebody's performance? Find out where the value of your product is coming from. And later, we will know how to connect that with your customers. So secondly, who really is buying your product? Do you know them? And how well do you know them? Miguel talked about the emotional connection with a person. We should have that level of connection also with our customers, knowing full well what are the emotional issues that they are experiencing when they buy your products or when they want to perform a job. Remember that performing a job or performing a task is one thing that the customer wants to do when they buy your product. An example would be performing a job, or an example of a customer job is buying a car. The practical reason why he wants to buy a car is he wants to go from A to B. But there are emotional issues that he wants to address when buying that car. We should very well know those issues and have a connection at that level. Now, go back to the customers. What segments of the customers? What customer segments are you really addressing? Who are the customers? Are you addressing a mass market or just a segment of the market? We must all admit and accept that we cannot be everything to everybody. So when a business owner says that I want to go to the market and be acceptable by all, that just doesn't work. If you say that, that means you have very little understanding of your customers and you'll be lost on how you present your products to the market. Then channels tell you, how are you communicating with your customers? How are your products known to them? So what's the manner of awareness of your brand and your product to them? That's your customer channel. How can they evaluate your product? And of course, how will they purchase it and deliver the products to them? And more importantly, after the sale, how do you now serve them after sales? What is your post-sales relationship with your customers? Talking about relationship, is it a personal relationship or a personalized relationship? Do you go out and sell your products through account managers, or do you go to them and do the selling yourself? Do you have stores where probably a self-service transaction can happen? Then finally, how do you make money? What are your revenue streams? So knowing all of these will let you know what are the elements that are interfacing with your customers. Your products, who are your customer segments, their channels, and how are you delivering the relationship with how do you connect with your customers? Let's all know this first. And further, to an understanding of your products and services, fill in the blanks. I think this is a simple quiz for all of us business owners, and by providing the information in parentheses and underscored, you'll probably know or not know what your products and services are. Answer the questions or fill in the blanks. My product or service sells because what's the value promise? Why are they buying your products? By either or relieving my customers' pains. What are their problems? What is your products giving out that solves their pains and or helping them achieve gains? Gains are aspirations the customers wants to be surprised by, and these are the things that they wish for. So two things. What are the pains and what are the gains that they want to achieve? And we must know them very well. Again, this is through connection and knowing them on a personal level. So just to illustrate how we deal with innovation, like I emphasize, it's not always product innovation. In the area of product, it may be a different design of the product, could be a different packaging, possibly in smaller sizes. In customer, your customer can be a different subsegment. In channels, it can be a differentiation or an innovation in channels. Let me just share one quick example. Amazon has changed the way we read books. And all they did was channel innovation. They did not reinvent the book. It's the same book, only in a different way of delivering it to the customers. Before, we used to buy books from bookstores. We go to the bookstores, pick our book, pay, leave, and read them anywhere. Amazon changed that. The books were then transferred into an online list, so customers can just stay in the house, in the office, order from online, and then have them delivered. Still, Amazon went further. The delivery of books are now on digital format when they introduced Kindle. So that is a very good example of channel innovation. They still cater to the same customer segment, but they just changed the way that they are evaluated, their products are evaluated, purchased, and made aware of on the part of the customers. And now we know and probably are aware of how Amazon is doing in really completely changing the way we get the physical products. They're now experimenting on drone delivery. Again, that's another channel innovation. Relationships, obviously, we cannot have face-to-face meetings. For us coaches and consultants, could be good, could be not good, because now we have to use online meetings. We now have more online meetings than we have before. But what about those companies with physical products that may need physical appreciation of products by customers? How is the relationship now? That is a challenge. Is it a matter of doing the same thing but a different product? And that will come, the ideation will come from you and your team on how well you understand your customers in the manner that we have presented.
Let me just share with you a scenario, no? You're waiting for an elevator, and as the door begins to open, you secretly hope that no one else is in the elevator. So you won't have to go through the awkward moment as you walk into the elevator of trying to figure out if they're going to want to talk with you. And you press the button of the floor of the elevator, and then you want to, parang you wish the elevator would go a little faster so you can make your quiet exit. Raise your hand if you're like that. That would indicate a more reserved nature. So another, elevator pa rin. So as the door begins to open, you're curious and super excited to see who is on the other side of the elevator. And the minute you walk in, you say a hearty hello, everyone. And as you press the button of your the floor where you want to go, you begin to ask them how are their days, and even you make a joke and say, how's the weather today? So raise your hand if you're like that. Absolutely, if you're like that, you are an outgoing person. So the elevator example is actually if you are the person who doesn't really want to talk to any strangers, you're probably you're probably an inactive person or introvert person. So, or reserved person. Now, if you are the one who just wait to see who is in the elevator and perfectly comfortable, and maybe even like talking to someone you don't even know, and then you are probably an extrovert or an outgoing person. Today, we are going to learn about the DISC method of personality indicator. Based on your answer to the elevator and vacation questions, you will begin to see where you are in the Maxwell DISC matrix. Okay, ito. When you look at it from this perspective, these and I's are actually outgoing. These are the people who are active. They want to go, they want to talk, they are directive. So they are very, very active people. They don't mind people in the elevator. Now, if you are a C or an S are more reserved, they are hoping that the elevator is empty. I'm like that because I'm an S. But in the event that S are different from a C. S would always think that I should be nice. But C, I don't care because they are task-oriented. No? If you are a C, you are task-oriented and reserved. If you are a D, you are an outgoing and task-oriented. No? So another one, if you are an I, you are outgoing and people-oriented. Now, if you are an S, you are reserved and you are people-oriented. So these are indicators of your behavior, depending on your behavior. What is your personality type? What's your dominant personality type? Are you a D, an I, or C, or an S? So actually, in the framework of DISC, it doesn't mean that we label people as DI or SC. It's actually a combination of the four letters, four patterns of the DISC. Each of us is actually, it's like an ink, di ba? Alam niyo ba yung ink na we have the magenta, the black? So it's actually a combination. We are unique in every way. Those are significant characteristic of the D-word style, which make up only 3% of the population. For example, you go to a community, only 3% of the population are the D-type. They thrive on control, they make decisions, they are direct and focus on results. Now, don't worry. This will get to you, to your great strength in just a minute. Ito yung mga siga-siga in a way, parang ganun. Ano? And the good thing about it, they are only 3%. They are the Dutertes, they are the Trumps, you know. They are very, very comfortable in actually being untactful, you know, being direct. What's the high personality, you know? These people are, if you see people wearing colored clothes like yellow, red, you know, somehow you would see them very vocal. They could probably be an I. Kumbaga, their dominant personality is an I, which is influencing. No? I's persuade others by speaking, and they are spontaneous, friendly, and often in the spotlight. They are very comfortable in the spotlight. And according to the study, it is estimated that I's make up 11% of the population. No? S, this is my personality type, ano, S. And this is 69% of the population. Why? Because these are team-oriented. They follow through, loyal, and they are very accepting. They are very inclusive, no? Yabang because I am S. But there are problems, there are challenges to the S. You know what? 69%, which means most of your employees are S. That's why if you are a D type, be very, very slow, and you know, to them now you have to manage them because DN are so quick. D, for example, you're talking to an S, be slow and tone down. No? You have to manage them that way. No? What are the C? C are 17% of the population. These are the engineers, the CPAs, those people who are handling detail, the astronaut, the doctors, you know, and their mantra is perfection. They're a compliant, analytical, planner, and accuracy. And the challenge for them is paralysis analysis, you know, sobra, you know, they are 74. We need this kind of people, no? Because any like a doctor, magkamali na, it can make mistakes, and that will be a problem for all of us.